Alright guys, good evening. Welcome everybody. Hi, welcome Psychatic. Long time no see. Nice to have you in. Yeah, how are you? How was your week? So looks like we two are not on a Halloween party. So what I am doing here is U-Boat, my favorite submarine sim lately and since a while. And yeah, we are on the other side of the Atlantic in March of 42, and we sank one single merchant around here, and now I tried to infiltrate into a large convoy, but it was heavily guarded, and they pinged me before I could get a bearing on any ship. And yeah, it was partly my mistake because I was going in too early. It was still too dark, so I had a hard time actually spotting the ships. And yeah, now they are after me. You see that I got quite a beating, and we were taking loads of money. Got at least 2 crewmates injured, but I saved them from dying, so no losses, and we got all the water out actually. So let's see.
Aktuelle Tiefe 140 Meter. Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik geortet.
Let's give it a save. W182. So we just barely escaped from drowning.
145 Meter.
Okay, so you just stayed at home. Yeah, that's what it is. Actually, our children are both with friends, so our daughter and our son are staying overnight night with friends, and
140 Meter.
I think they're not actually doing a big party, but at least having a little meeting with some friends. I think I can turn off
Lenzpumpe
the
ausschalten.
pump at that point.
145 Meter.
Yeah, we are pretty deep,
Schraubengerüst. Direkt über uns.
so let's
Schneller, schneller.
go flank. They are right above us. Yeah, we are starting right in the middle of action. When they are right above us, we could just make a lot of noise and it wouldn't matter. We even have regained a bit of compressed air.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik geortet.
Okay, yeah, nice that you dropped in. So have a good night and see ya. So we had quite a few leaks, but we were able to plug them.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Yeah, that was just them up there on the surface firing flares. Yeah, let's carry him there. pretty tough, and they dropped loads of depth charges upon us. And you see, we are really running out of oxygen sooner or later. They used up quite a lot of dropping again. Wow. Hell. Change course again. By zigzagging, I try to get rid of them. Yeah, that was just flares. It's quite scary how loud the flares actually are. Hey, come on, sooner or later they must leave us alone. They have to stay with their convoy, and the convoy has to move on. Yeah, we are so deep, we are taking slowly but constantly taking water when we're moving. It is entering via the drive shaft. Yeah, come on, let's reduce our depth. Yeah, we are on silent run. We have the Burkhardt was closed, we have the gyro turned off.
125 Meter.
Shit. They are dropping and we are relatively shallow. Just 120. There they are.
Aktuelle Tiefe 125 Meter. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Herr Kalon, feindliche Schiffe machen sich gefechtsbereit.
Das wird nicht einfach. Aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden. Lasst uns ruhig bleiben. Tauchen auf 130 Meter. 135 Meter.
Yeah, the sea is pretty deep again around here. It was much more shallow here.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik geortet. 130 Meter. Herr Kapitän,
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
ja. Aktuelle Tiefe 125 Meter. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
He's gonna need a cup of coffee.
Verstanden. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy. 130 Meter.
So, he was pretty tired. The coffee helps him to stay focused for a little longer. We are quickly taking water down here. Not because of leaks, but just,
125
yeah, it's just seeping through the gaskets. Come on. Fingers crossed that we get away from this alive.
in beträchtlicher Entfernung.
Depth charges in some distance. Might be that they're going for another submarine. %, of oxygen.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik geortet.
Yeah, we lost a lot of oxygen because we refilled the compressed air tanks while submerged with the electric compressor. Yeah, but we needed that. The compressed air actually saved our ass in game half an hour ago. Strain and stress, discipline. having different foods in the galley doesn't help us right now, because as long as we are on battle stations, the galley is not manned. Mr. Lindemann and Mr. Reitenbach. Yeah, we have to remove Mr. Reitenbach from the watch roster. Where is Mr. Lindemann? I already did remove him, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Yeah, let's zigzag away again when they are right above us. I want to go flank.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Time of the day. Well, it's pretty late by now. It's 10 minutes to 10 in the morning. Yeah, let's do this. Let's take a little scenic view, cinematic view. There are citadels circling around with 1, 2, this one, 3, 4, 5, and well, the bulk of the convoy is moving on, so I might hope that sooner or later they would leave me alone. But hey, come on. Loads of ships trying to hunt me down. And they're just moving away from the bulk. Pretty amazing. is one right ahead, right above of us. Right above us. Water in the bilge is increasing again. Not due to leaks, but just due to, ordinary seeping of water through the gaskets at that depth that we are. And when we go faster, this would even increase, because then we take quite a bit of water via the gaskets of the drive shaft. And we didn't manage to sink a single ship of that convoy. At least we didn't get depth charged directly again, so we didn't take hits, let me put it like that. We still got depth charged, but they missed far enough that we didn't take any more damages. You see that all the equipment outside here is severely damaged, so that will be a shitload of work to repair all that stuff. $80, that's uncritical, giving us loads of buoyancy, but over the time it becomes critical. And although the convoy is moving on, these ships are still upon us. Maybe here that we are close to US and Canadian ports, they can afford to have some men of war, some escorts chasing us to Kingdom Come, while there is enough other escorts to go with the convoy. Maybe they lost track of us. Propellers are getting louder again, aren't they? So we are going more or less due north. more than flank speed. Almost 90 liters. Hey, weight loss. Good evening. Great to see you. So you see me in the same situation like when we quitted the game last night. They are still going hard after me. Wow. Ha, great. I'm really jealous. It would do me well to do something similar. That guy must be pretty close, right?
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
That's pretty amazing. And that adds up to your daily usage of energy that you have anyway. So, should be pretty efficient. Yeah, okay. So nothing on starboard as it looks like, as it sounds like. But I think that was 2, 3, 4, 5. There are still estimatedly 5 escorts chasing me. They're all on port side at the moment. Yeah, there might be more on that close range. Not everything is marked on the map. Yep. Yeah, that must be quite some satisfaction.
Fische. Große Gruppe. Peilung 225 Grad. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
Herr Kaloy? Ja? Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr
Okay, that was change of watch, 10 o'clock.
Schiffe machen sich gefechtsbereit.
Zeit, unseren Mut zu testen, Männer.
Herr Kaloy. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Alles klar, ich werde mich darum kümmern. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Alles klar, ich werde mich darum kümmern.
Oh shit, we are below 30% of air quality. That guy is closing in. Four cables or something. Yeah, I don't have him, because he's dead ahead, dead behind me. But maybe he just passed by. Mm, 115 liters, I have to keep an eye on that. Sooner or later, I'm gonna have to turn on the ventilation system. I wasn't aware that I could store so many of these filters there. Still things to learn. Yeah, we were completely down with our compressed air resources because we used all the compressed air to give us a bit of buoyancy, and that actually saved our ass, so that we managed to get to a depth where actually the pump was starting to work again, and then we had to turn on the electric compressors, and that's why we are so bad in air quality. But at least we do have a bit of compressed air flask pressure. These are my two injuries, Mr. Lindemann and Mr. Reitenbach. Hey guys, good evening, nice to have you in. Yeah, as usual, I just saw the numbers of viewers going up on my screen. So, yeah, you're always invited to join the chat, but if you just want to watch, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, we are still being chased hard, and we just barely survived being death charged. Something like, yeah, in game, maybe an hour ago, maybe only a half an hour ago, but we managed to get the water out of the boat. And now, yeah, we all need to keep fingers crossed that we don't get any more hits from the depth charges. Yeah, they dropped a lot, And they are still up there. Propellers, yes. But further away than they were. Mr. Breen, what do you say? Oh. All around us still. But it looks a bit like they don't have a clue. At the moment, at least. Yeah, Mr. Lamprecht, the captain. Yeah, almost 1/4, a quarter of strain and stress level. Discipline is fine, but air quality is worrying me. Battery capacity is still alright, more than 50%, almost 60%. Guys. I wish they would leave me alone now. Yeah, let's take a cinematic view once more. Even though this might, some people might regard this as a bit of cheating. Actually, I do as well, but I don't care. I think for the stream and for the gameplay, it is quite alright to do this. So it's 10 o'clock and the sun is rising now. So this is what I mean. I have the feeling that we somehow, are having not the local time here, but the game gives us Greenwich Mean Time. But if it were Greenwich Mean Time, I think the sunrise should be even later, but not quite sure. So that's port side. Still two guys on port side. They are far away. Maybe they are going for another guy, and there is one more guy. So there are still 3 men of war chasing me, or searching for me. And the whole convoy has moved on. And these guys are still with me. Not giving up. Not going back for their convoy. That's the point. Around here they have loads of resources. But yeah, weight loss. Remember a few days ago we had that discussion. The question whether the time is given in Greenwich time or local time. And yeah, at the moment I would say it more looks like Greenwich time, because we have sunrise only at 10 o'clock, and that's really too late for March. Sunrise pretty late, and sunset Also pretty late, I guess. Yeah. So if we look at where we are, how much time difference would we have here? 4 hours to the very eastern tip of Canada. I don't know. Eastern tip of Canada. Can I see it in the game? My latitude? Oh yeah, there I can. Top right. So it's 56 west. Yeah, 56 west. 56 degrees west. At the moment it looks like they're lost. Maybe I should just stop my engines and stay afloat. And wait it out. Wow, shit. Yeah. And something like 46 north, yeah. Ah, yeah, okay, latitude, yeah. Ah, well, okay, but our latitude is just the latitude of La Rochelle. Yeah, isn't it? So 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock would be 4 hours, and yeah, that could be. I mean, 4 hours of time difference to the very eastern tip of Canada. That might work out. Yeah, that hits. That's nice. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Makes it a little bit difficult, or well, and maybe realistic, that you actually have Greenwich Mean Time on your chronometer on board. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like that. That would be nice. Would mean that they actually have simulated that. I never thought about that before because I never went that far away from home. But now it shows that they actually do heat it. Wow, and we are accumulating water again in the bilge. Air quality is deteriorating pretty bad, and they are still up there. They are still up there, blocking our way to take a breath. Yeah, actually you would have two chronometers, right? One showing the local time and one showing the Greenwich time. Particularly back then, I mean, Nowadays, the Greenwich time probably doesn't have any much meaning for the navigation anymore. When you do everything just with satellite navigation, I guess it's just the backup. But I think back then, in the Second World War, they still had to do it with these kind of classical methods, looking at the time, looking at when do we have lunchtime, and estimating the delta between local time and Greenwich time. Only that they had better chronometers than in the Age of Sail. For 24% of air quality.
Feindliche Schiffe geben Alarm.
Keine Panik. Konzentriert euch auf eure Aufgabe.
Yeah, let's see. At least I learned a bit from all the books that I read about sailing. Yeah, when I was a youth, my favorite books were those of these famous single-handed sailors around the world, things like that. Generally, yeah, I read quite a few books about guys who did sail around the world in a yacht back then. Yeah, and of course then the classics, Forrester and O'Brien. Yep. Yeah, I can imagine so. Whenever you get a time, it's something like you have to do some calculation in your head. Oh shit, they got us again. Why the fuck did they got us again? But yeah, it's a gamble actually. And it feels realistic like that. They are cruising and cruising on top of us, and sooner or later they have a lucky hit and detect us again. Sounds like they're right behind us. And right ahead of us. Yeah, that guy seems to be doing an attack approach. I think when they think that they have a clue about our position, they go flank speed, head straight for our guest position, and start dropping depth charges. But maybe we're lucky and they lost our tracks again. Yeah, soon we are going to be in real trouble. Then we have to turn on the ventilation, and that's going to make a hell of a noise.
Es wird nicht einfach. Aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden. Lasst uns ruhig bleiben.
Come on, sometime these guys must give up. They must run out of... They must run out of depth charge sooner or later. That guy seems to be the closest one. I think he's closing in. Yeah, but it looks like he's missing us. Are they going slow in on us? Might be. Come on, flank speed. Let's get away underneath them. %of air quality. Oh, come on. Yeah, let's give it another save. This is gonna be a tough one to escape from them.
Kleine Fahrt.
So that guy is abaft. That guy is pretty close on port side. That guy also on port side. And anybody on the other side? Not really. So it's still 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the number of ships going after us at least is reducing slowly. That guy being far away, that guy being pretty close.
Geräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung
Yeah, well,
30 Grad. Herr Kapitän,
give us the position of the convoy. Convoy 01. There it is. And we are going north at the moment. %, of air quality. 160 liters of water in the bilge. Slowly increasing. And we are at 130 meters. That's a good depth. So we are not taking too much water through leaking gaskets. But it still looks like that they have trouble to detect us down here. Yeah, to go deeper, it just wouldn't give us any benefit, I think. They would still continue searching up there. And we would just make more water, increasing just any risk.
wir wurden entdeckt.
Das wird nicht einfach. Aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden.
How do
Lasst
we
uns
know?
ruhig bleiben.
How do we know that we were spotted? Our buoyancy is still all right. At least they didn't drop depth charts onto our heads since 20 minutes or something, half an hour. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to see that the time, sunrise and stuff seems to be consistent if you consider that they are using the Greenwich Mean Time. Actually, what does UTC mean, the abbreviation? I think it's Greenwich time, right? But what does UTC actually mean? %, of air quality. Silent running makes us reduce the air usage by 15%.
Schraubengeräusche direkt über uns.
Schneller.
Okay, let's do zigzagging again, like a hare. Running from the fox. I don't know, I still have that sneaking suspicion that I forgot back home to reload the stern torpedoes. That's pretty annoying because I might have well used that before I dove away. I always have some trouble with this irregular verb of diving. What is it? To dive, dove, dived? Or to dive, dove, divin? No, dive, dove, dived. I guess. Sorry, all you native speakers, for me being ignorant about that one. Usually I thought I was pretty alright about irregular verbs in English, but now and then I do have a little failure. Now we are down to 20% and we get the warning. We get the warning sign. Air quality of air is pretty bad. So I don't know if we already get some bad influence by now on moral or something. No, obviously not yet. But now it's gonna get tough. But let's not lose our nerves. Let's see. We can still carry on like that without turning on the ventilation, because yeah, the ventilation would give our position away just in an instant. It's so noisy if you turn it on.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
that's not my main concern at the moment. Yeah, we're going slow ahead again. Hey, why is the hatch open? Didn't I tell you guys to keep the hatches closed? I did. I know I did. Yeah, you see these reflections on their face. This kind of gives me the feeling that they are sweating from, yeah, maybe just from bare fear. And I always wonder, would it be very hot down there? I think it would be pretty bad air, but still, it should be rather cold. That deep. I mean, the water around would be just something like 2 degrees, maybe 5 degrees in the northern Atlantic, particularly at that season in March. So when you dive for a few hours, it might get terribly cold down there in the submarine. Or is it that all the machinery just kind of emits so much heat that you would still have some, yeah, overheating, some Finnish sauna. %19 of air quality.
Fahrt voraus.
Somebody's there. One contact. Somebody's there. Second contact. I think there are still 3 of them. This one is the third. Let's hope that it's these 3. Yep. And these 3 guys are still chasing us. Yeah, these guys are still aware that we are around. They are aware of us still being around, and they just wouldn't give up, obviously. $210 liters in the bilge. could actually try to get to the surface and try to home one of this sound-seeking torpedo.
Ja, Kommandant, ich komme nicht herum.
Tauchen auf 100 Meter.
Meter.
When I'm up there, as soon as I have fired a torpedo on them, I should turn on
105
the pump and the ventilation, because then it just doesn't matter. They would recognize my position anyway.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet. Verstanden. Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Kommandant. Aktuelle Tiefe 100 Meter. Ja, Kommandant, ich kümmere mich darum.
Tauchen auf 45 Meter. Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Now I'm gonna
95 Meter.
try to get myself sneakily to the surface on periscope depth. So maybe somebody's gonna
Aktuelle Tiefe 85
have to
Meter.
give some support at
Zu Befehl, Herr Kommandant.
depth keeping.
Folgen Sie mir. Jawohl, ich kümmere mich drum. 65 Meter.
Tauchen auf 20 Meter.
Vor 3, 8. Alles klar, ich werde mich darum kümmern.
So now I have all 3 torpedoes maintained.
40 Meter.
There is one guy pretty dead ahead. Maybe I can sink that guy.
Tauchen auf 15 Meter.
Meter. Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
Tauchen auf 10 Meter.
10 Meter.
Destroyer. Velocity 8 at the moment. He's moving relatively. Angle on bow, let's call it all 0 distance. I don't know, 600 whatsoever. And it's a destroyer. Destroyers have a draught of 4.
Rohr 1 bewässern. Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Gegnerfahrt 8 Knoten. Winkel 1, 1 rechts.
Herr Kaloin, feindliche Schiffe machen sich gefechtsbereit.
Entfernung zum Ziel 6, 0, 0 Meter. Zeit, unseren Mut zu testen, Männer. Los! Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag. Tauchen auf 130 Meter.
Okay, guys, get the boat down.
30 Sekunden.
Aktuelle Tiefe 15 Meter. 20 Sekunden.
Ja,
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. 10 Sekunden bis Einschlag. 30 Meter. Fehlschuss.
Lenzpumpe einschalten.
Kaloin,
Wir wissen, wie es geht. Drehen wir den Spieß gegen diese Jäger um. Ventilation einschalten.
ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. 50 Meter.
Lenzpumpe einschalten.
So who's gonna turn on the ventilation?
Ventilation einschalten.
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung 130 Grad.
So
65 Meter.
looks like we didn't hit the guy.
Schraubengeräusche. 75 Meter.
Schneller, schneller. Motoren besetzen. Schneller, schneller.
Maybe that was a hit. Was that the sound of our torpedo hitting? Well, possible.
Ventilation einschalten.
Aktuelle Tiefe 90 Meter. Befehle, Herr Kaloin.
Hey, great, we got the water out. Did we? Did we get the water out? That's great. So please, somebody turn off
Ausschalten.
the pump.
Kleine Fahrt voraus. Ventilation ausschalten.
Okay.
Kriegsschiff. Peilung 0 Grad.
Who's gonna turn off the ventilation?
125 Meter.
Please turn it off. Thank you very much. And we got the water out. Nice. So this might give us a bit more margin now, and we are up to 23% of air quality, having used 5 of our absorbers. Let's give it a save. Maybe that was a good idea. Hey, wow, see, they are abandoning. They are abandoning that ship, so let's hope that it is finally gonna go down. Yeah, that was only a... That's not a destroyer, I guess, or is it? Not quite sure. Maybe it's only a corvette. But it pretty much looks like we got it. They are abandoning. Hey, come on, these sound-seeking torpedoes, they are so great. Yeah, the quarterdeck is already sinking underneath water. That's another corvette. And what about that other guy? Hey, come on, guys. Just go home. Just leave us alone. Nice. We got that guy. He's sinking. The crew has already abandoned that ship. So one less to give us trouble. Yeah, what's the depth? Yeah, it's still 300 to 400 meters. So still no chance to put ourselves onto the seabed and stay put. Yeah, that was a decent action. Quickly getting to periscope depth, firing that one and only sound-seeking torpedoes that we had left, and yeah, it was a hit. Hunt class sunk, okay. The Hunt class, so it was even a destroyer, not only a corvette. Nice. Yeah, but we are still pretty low on air quality, to be honest. Okay, let me slow down the speed and I'll be back in a minute.
Schraubengeräusch. Kriegsschiff. Peilung 350 Grad. 130 Meter.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we are taking sips of water again. Yeah, that's a good strategy, which I never actually was aware of before. Whenever an enemy destroyer is right above you, they can't hear you, so you go flank speed, change course, turn on the pump and turn on the ventilation. Hi guys! A few more people watching, nice to have you in. It's so nice to join. Yeah, the stream is relatively quiet tonight because maybe many people are out on some Halloween party. Yeah, so nice to have you in. Nevertheless, pretty much enjoyed this. I mean, like it uses to be, it's quite a bit of a patience game. But yeah, with quite some high level of immersion. Pretty much love it. And yeah, we are actually forced down here. And there were 3 enemy men of war still chasing us, and one of them we just sank with a sound-seeking torpedo. Getting back to periscope depth quickly, getting an aim on them, and then fire this fire and forget torpedo.
Feindliche Schiffe machen sich gebietsbereit.
Lenzpumpe einschalten. Ventilation einschalten.
Hey guys, please, somebody turn on the ventilation. Are you gonna do it?
Lenzpumpe ausschalten.
Strain and stress, almost 30%. Yeah, uncritical. Yeah, there are two ships still chasing us, and it looks like they feel no need to go back to their convoy. They have escorts galore here close to the Canadian coast.
Es ist nicht mehr erforderlich, die Schotten geschlossen zu halten.
Ah, yeah, let's give it a save. But we are not out of that trouble yet. Hey, come on, that can't be. That's definitely a misreading. Yeah, 11 o'clock it is. Oh shit, they got us again.
Tauchen auf, 105.
What if we go down to 50 meters, 150 meters? Hey guys, I just see that there are few watchers on YouTube. So I always have to excuse myself for the bad quality of the YouTube stream, but, well, I'm just an amateur streamer and I have that amateur streaming software which allows me to do dual streams. So my main stream, like always, is on Twitch, and I do this small scale, small screen stream on YouTube. So great to have you in on YouTube, you guys. Thanks for watching. And yeah, if you want to see the full screen thing, well, yeah, you would have to go for Twitch actually. Can't help it. Yeah, I'm just an aficionado. No, well, don't expect perfect technology. So, well, on Twitch it's fine. But on YouTube I can only stream this small scale thing, which if you watch it on your mobile device, I think it's alright. But if you watch it on your PC, it might be a bit annoying. Sorry for that. Nevertheless, nice to have you in. Always happy for a like, if you like what you see, or even a follow. But yeah, if you just want to watch silently, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, well, talking about silent, of course, some comments are very, very appreciated. But yeah, as I said, don't feel pushed, just watch if you like to watch. Yeah, tonight the stream is not that crowded. Yeah, how deep can we actually go? It says that if you have advanced submarines, you can go deeper without running the risk of getting crushed. But I'm never quite sure about the numbers. Yeah, the depth in meters.
Feindliche Schiffe geben Alarm.
Keine Panik. Konzentriert euch auf eure Aufgaben.
Okay, there we are, down to 20% again in terms of air quality. Yeah, strain and stress of the crew is up to 30%. Well, understandable. Well, we are down here now since something like 6 o'clock in the morning, which is now 5 hours being submerged, being under constant threat, and a lot of depth charts being dropped, and we did take quite a hit. So the last 3 hours were pretty quiet, but before we really ran into trouble and we almost got sunk. If the crew wouldn't have done all its best, we would have all perished in the depths of the Atlantic. Well, it sounds like we are shaking them off. Maybe. Let's do the cinematic view again, which is my euphemism for doing this little cheating. Yeah, but in terms of gameplay, it's quite alright, I think. And in terms of streaming, so this is our view abaft. Hey, okay. There is this guy over there. And where is the second remaining guy? At the moment, I just see this guy. He seems to be still chasing us, flying speed. Might be that one moving away. Ship sinking. Yeah, let's stay put for another while, and maybe we are just about shaking them off. Let's give it another save and do a bit of time acceleration.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Maybe we are about to get rid of them. That guy is far away and moving further away, so I think we are fine. I think the guys gave up the chase.
Aktuelle Tiefe 150 Meter. Meter.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Okay, guys, step away from battle station. Open the bulkheads.
Schotten geschlossen zu halten.
Stop direct orders.
140 Meter.
Hey guys, whose watch is it, actually?
Meter.
So let's have the crew step away.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. 115 Meter. Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 85 Meter. Meter.
20 Meter.
Okay, guys. We are
50 Meter.
just about to get back to the surface to get some real air.
Meter.
Tauchen auf 10 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 20 Meter.
Schleichfahrt beenden. Kreiselkompass einschalten.
Wow, we are down to 11% of air quality. Yeah, of course, I did the time acceleration.
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
15 Meter. Herr Kaloi, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Mr. Hinrich, please man the radio so that we can do all the reports. And of course, there is a bit of success to be reported. We sank that Hunt-class destroyer.
Herr Kaloi?
All right, let's get to the surface.
5 Meter.
Hey guys, there we are. Fresh air getting in.
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Yeah, we are down to 59% of diesel, which is also something we have to keep in mind. And now we're going to do another run onto that convoy. It was moving with something like 10 knots. So the guess is that they are moving something like that. So 10 knots. Three hours. Bring them there. What about us? 3 hours would bring us. Yeah, so in 3 hours we could be in a position to intercept them again. Yeah, lots of repairs going on. That's good. Yeah, that's gonna use a lot of spare parts, I guess, but maybe it creates a little bit of rubbish.
Befehle.
Alright. Scrap metal. We are creating some scrap metal. Very good. They are repairing. Alright. Let's see if we get 2 more scraps.
Ventilation einschalten. Lenzpumpe einschalten.
Yeah, now having the ventilation turned on without the absorbers just accelerates how quick we get good air back into the boat. Hey, come on, even more to repair. Is he gonna help? Nah. Do we have here? This one was also damaged. Yeah, we really took a lot of damage. It's a wonder that we survived. And yeah, if we look back, hey, come on. You know that at one point I actually had to reload because we died. But only once. And then we did it, didn't we? Yeah. Things are gonna get repaired. We have 3 scrap metals by now, and I think it's gonna be 4 in the end. Hey, where's the radio officer?
Raum besetzt.
Report the stuff. Okay, yes, I was using the stop direct orders, and then his doing was actually stopped. Yeah, that was my mistake.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing adventure, I think. We got out alive, and the question really is if we dare to get into that convoy a second time.
Funktelegramm gesendet. Schäden am Turm repariert.
All right.
Ja?
And he's He's gonna do the maintenance. That's good.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloin? Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, everything repaired, everything back to normal, is it? Okay, somebody could do the replacement parts stuff at the workshop. 2 more replacement parts would be just perfectly fine. We used a lot of replacement parts for repairing all these damages.
Diesel besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Äußerste Kraft voraus. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Bereits geladen. Rohr 4 gewartet. Rohr 2 geladen.
Okay, so now he is going to the workshop, making spare parts out of the scrap metal. That's good.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
All right. There we are, back to business. What about the discipline? Discipline is just fine. it's gonna be tough to do another attack. It's 12 o'clock and we are gonna be even up with them at 3 o'clock. So we might be able to do a late afternoon or dusk attack on them. That's what I would like pretty much. So we're gonna try another one. We are gonna try another one. Another approach. But let me be AFK just for 1 minute. Yeah. Now the chase is on again. more than 1 hour. Now, do I have the patience to do a hydrophone check here? Mm. 20 degrees. Is this consistent? Yeah, let's do a hydrophone check. I want to be sure about their cause.
Auf 35 Meter.
Ah shit, my battery capacity is still down because I right away went to flank speed. There was no resources left to reload the batteries. Would be a bad idea to go into an attack onto that heavily guarded convoy with just 55% of battery capacity. Yeah, but let's first take a hydrophone check. Confirm their position, confirm their course, and then we can make up our minds. At one point in time we are gonna have to go back to cruise speed and reload the accumulators.
25 Meter.
Yeah, hydrophone check means that the crew brings the boat down to 50 meters, turns off the engines.
Peilung 165 Grad.
Oh shit.
Aktuelle Tiefe 35 Meter.
Now let's see what we get.
Herr Kapitän?
Okay, well, forget about them. They're retreating from the convoy. And yeah, we must get some contact around here.
Großer Konvoi.
Ah, nice.
30 Grad.
There it is.
30 Meter.
So I haven't had the first contact there.
Meter.
So it looks a bit like that, meaning that, yeah, assuming that they're going with 10 knots, they will be there. So I should get in a little bit more shallow, not to be too close to them too early. I really want to circumnavigate them undetectedly and then cut off their way. So, going like that. Whoop. Yeah, after the next hour, I should be even up with them. And yeah, then it is 2:30. And at 3:30, I should be in the position to infiltrate them, being right in front of them. And then let's hope that we are a little bit more lucky than on our first try, which went terribly wrong. We were just lucky that we survived that. Actually, the escort detected us just too early, and we went into the convoy when it was still so dark that we didn't get a clear target on the ships, on the merchantmen. 2 of our crewmates are actually incapacitated. Here, Mr. Reitenbach has a broken leg. Shit, yeah. That was this. Mr. Lindemann got tuberculosis already. On our way out. Any other guy? Yeah, the rest of the crew is fine. And these are the prisoners. Well, let's not call them prisoners. The refugees that we got on board. Hey, here you see Albert Vogel already reached level 2. That's pretty amazing. So I really wonder what would happen if I would make him an officer. Hey, come on. Virtuous, frown, whatsoever. Come on. Leave me alone. I already have plenty of great viewers. Hey, come on. Pretty surprised that this is still a business concept. Spawning people with this best viewers stuff. Yeah, I'm so glad that I have you guys as viewers, so I don't have to rely on these kind of fake viewer stuff, whatsoever that is. Mr. Reitenbach, Mr. Lindemann, yeah. And there we go back to the surface, which is good. Mr. Aal is opening the compressed air valves, which means that now our compressed air is going to be pressed into the ballast tanks, pushing out the seawater back into where it belongs, into the open sea, out of the boat. And having pressed all the water out of the ballast tanks lets the boat pop up like a cork. If everything works right. Like, yeah, you remember, maybe you don't. Last night, when we were down there at something like 130 meters, it was quite some trouble, because down there, the compressed air has to work against that enormous pressure. So, yeah, I love that this is actually heated in the game. So if you have 160 bar of compressed air, if you're just 50 feet down, it's perfectly easy to empty the ballast tanks with that. But if you are 150 feet down, this is just not sufficient to get a bit of air out, because you have to work against all that pressure of the sea down there. And yeah, these are these concepts where I really enjoy these and love that they have implemented these things into the game. Yeah, let's do it a bit like that. And then our distance towards the convoy would be Something like 4 miles. Should be alright not to be detected.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Give it a save.
Jawohl.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, we are. Let's go for 1 hour. And then we are going to do another hydrophone check, just that we are sure about their heading.
Tauchen auf 10 Meter.
Yeah, one more hydrophone check. They should be right here. Let's see how precise my dead reckoning actually is. Okay, we are down below 60%.
Aktuelle Tiefe.
I think we can go down to 40% and then we would be still able to get back home. But if we...
Alarm! Konvoi in
Denkt
Sicht!
alle an eure
Peilung
Ausbildung.
90 Grad.
Bleibt ruhig und zentriert.
Yeah, of course.
Meter.
Nah, you don't have to be on battle stations.
Aktuelle Tiefe 15 Meter. Meter.
Yeah, if I only could get rid of that best viewers guy. Hey, that's kind of an insult, isn't it? Like, as if I wouldn't be able to muster sufficient viewers by myself. You can buy them there. Pretty weird concept. I mean, so I'm just doing this for fun, but if you're doing that to earn money, maybe it's the bad idea to throw your money towards these kind of guys of best viewers, because you need real viewers. And then if you have something like 300 viewers, then you should be doing quite some earning. Yeah, like for me here, I'm just doing something like 5, 10, 15 people, 20 people, and yeah, that's just a few bucks, so it's something like that. I get something like 50 euro every 6 months out of this. And that's actually the money that I put back into supporting other streamers. I really don't see the point in these kind of best viewers stuff. That's so funny. You get that all the time. Wow, wow, wow. Vulvulu, hey. Nice to have you in. Good evening. So I know that you have kind of, special times of working. So, did you just drop in from something like late shift, night shift or something? Or maybe you just drop in from a Halloween party. Yeah, to be honest, for me, I am not out for any Halloween party anymore. Our children are, actually. But not me anymore. Ah, you were on a Halloween party. Nice. Hope it was good fun. Yes. Yeah, hey, come on. That's what a Halloween party is good for, isn't it? If you come from a Halloween party and you're not a bit drunk, you did something wrong, I would say. Of course, I wouldn't tell that to my children, but, well, among us, yes. But I feel honored that you still think about me and my stream and drop in. That's just great. So we had quite a bit of an adventure last night. And yeah, this night we were able to evade quite some... Yeah, they were pretty tough, these men of war. They were going for me for hours. But finally I was able even to sink one of them with a sound-seeking torpedo. Quickly go into periscope depth, firing one sound-seeking torpedo at the right depth and diving away again. That was pretty nice. Sinking, yeah, but yeah, we all know that all the tonnage that you do with Men of War doesn't count for the game. But never, yes, still, I sank one of the 3 Men of War that were chasing me. And so finally I did it and got away. And now, just can't leave it. I am going after... fuck. So now we were talking all the time. That just missed getting the next data point. Give me another hydrophone check, guys. I just want to get that next data point of the convoy. The convoy is heavily guarded. And yeah, last night that was the convoy that I tried to infiltrate, and the escort actually recognized me before I got into a nice firing position. But I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again. So now I actually missed the hydrophone check. Just because of our nice little small talk. There they are.
Peilung 75 Grad. 25 Meter. Herr Kapitän?
They are all right.
Meter.
So that's it.
Aktuelle Tiefe 30 Meter.
That's their bearing. Their heading, I mean. Here we are.
Meter.
Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
I am, actually. Yes, I am. The Josh is on the hunt. Yeah, that sounds pretty spectacular.
30 Meter.
Yeah, they pretty much fucked me up, but I got away. And by now all my systems are back working, so why not giving it another try?
Kurs setzen.
Alright guys, let's give it a save. And then, yeah, the Josh is on the hunt. That's what it is.
Anblasen. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, that should put myself in a good firing position.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yeah, here we are.
Kurs setzen.
Let's get south on a perpendicular course to their course so that we get some nice interception course. Yeah, pretty bad weather. 25 knots, maximum wind speed, thunderstorm. Yeah, we do get quite a wave out here. Yeah, there we have a few smoke columns on the horizon. Let's go after them.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Okay, guys, it's getting late, and I'm gonna turn in. So some of you guys might just be getting back from the Halloween party, but yeah. Also, quite a few watches on YouTube. I'm always, I have to excuse myself for the bad quality of the YouTube stream. But, well, that's what it is. If you want to have the perfect stream, just join my Twitch channel. And this one here is just a bit of a kind of showcase. So nice that you're watching, but I also understand that you are a bit disappointed by the format. If you are looking at that on your smartphone, I think it's perfectly fine. But if you are watching it on PC, it's a bit disappointing. I well understand that. But yeah, I'm just an amateur streamer using some amateur streaming software, and this allows me to do only that. It's a dual stream, alright, that's fine, but well, for YouTube I can only do it like that. Sorry guys for that, but nevertheless, nice to have you in. Yeah, well, there was quite some action when they were trying to sink me. I had to get away from quite a bit of, something like 3 or 4 destroyers who were trying to chase me down, and we did it. We actually did it. And so, I've got to go to bed. So, nice that you still dropped in, and all of you guys have a good night. I'm gonna continue this one tomorrow. Let's give it a save. And then, as I said, we are gonna do that tomorrow. Let's hope that we can fulfill this mission by sinking something like a bit more than 5,000 tons. See you guys and have a good night. Volvolu, was a pleasure to have you in. And sure that we're gonna see maybe tomorrow. So good night and see you.